It's time for Planet Green.
We have launched.
We've completely launched. We've started the show, and it is Planet Green Trees. We're about to embark 2 hours of medical marijuana and marijuana reform in Michigan.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. The Planet Green Trees show is underway with your host, attorney Michael Komorn. We have launched. We have launched.
And we're doing it live.
We are doing it live. Yeah, mine too. I see.
It's going to work because I'm pushing it right. I see it on there on the screen. A long time ago. All right, our special guest today in studio here, Schlicker, and all his Cannabis-Palooza friends and family. They've all piled into this one socially distanced area over here to my left.
Yeah, they've been segregated and quarantined.
Yep.
Yeah, and vaccinated, so it's
That's
good.
right.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I worry about too.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
did. He got the Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah. Pfizer for life.
Oh my goodness.
He's
He's living on the edge.
He's mixing it up. That's right. Like, yeah.
And they were being sued for talcum powder or something, right? It's like, come on. Gosh darn it, those suckers messed up again.
Well, 6 people out of millions got side effects, so that's bad. Pull it off the market.
Michael's been riding that
Oh
joke
my
for a couple
gosh.
I've been making a joke of some kind of Johnson, Vaseline, and Med over and over again. Different combinations.
But it's still funny, which is what's great about it. So. Yeah.
All right, so is there nobody?
He's unavailable tonight.
That's what we were just commenting that this is the first time in over a year that we've had all of our guests in house.
Because it's after COVID.
That's right.
And this is
We're no longer locked down. That's right.
Jim ran the campaign for Unlock Planet Green Trees.
That's right. Now that we've got all the vaccinations. Yeah. No, we're not. We're not unlocked down. There's a large sign in the lobby that clearly states that we're locked down.
The word unlock creates all kinds of political
It does. It was a poor choice of words.
On my part.
Yeah, on your part. It is your fault.
I didn't even catch it. I was still thinking about Johnson and Johnson. And the gosh darn talcum powder because my.
All right, so let's go around the room here because that's the best way to do it since we're all in here together. Jim, well, first of all, we got the before we do that, I guess.
Yeah, back up.
These are the topics we might talk about.
There we go.
No guarantees, but we're maybe talking.
Maybe one day.
I may rant.
We were going to talk about the pee.
Michigan marijuana sales break 1 billion pace.
Wow, that's a lot of moolah.
$1 billion. Insiders expect record-breaking
Jim.
as of April. I can't read that sentence. It's terrible. For the first time, the NFL will not test players for cannabis use during the off-season.
Huh.
We should call Eric Hipple and ask him about it.
Neuroprotectants come to mind. Neuroprotectants. Okay, then we've got a ban on drug masking products.
There it is.
Urine test approved in the Michigan Senate.
Including possession of human urine with intent to distribute.
Hold on, I didn't realize this is really what this is. This is an attempt to ban dildos, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Other types of prosthetic.
It's not a good look for the Michigan legislature. They should reconsider what they're doing.
Like, the sex industry should be disturbed by this. That's someone that would be
Yeah.
ally.
Yeah, no more rubber wieners.
I saw this thing where there were like you can purchase somebody, if you're trying to trick somebody, you can purchase a bag of those things that stick to anything on the windows.
Oh, there you
like
go.
their car windows and stuff. And somebody.
This reminds
What?
me.
You have a
I don't
fake
understand.
cleaner, you
Michael,
know?
this reminds me of
But it sticks
something
to the
else you
window.
often say about what in the hell would our founding fathers be saying,
Oh,
knowing
God.
that we've allowed them not to just intrude our homes and our persons, but while we're going to the bathroom.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they are concerned with our pee.
They're
and
gonna
what it's
regulate
gonna
it.
test.
They're
I mean,
regulating.
we've allowed them to do that. The
Yeah.
founding fathers would just—they're rolling over in their graves
And
Must be nothing more important
that's right.
for them to do.
That's exactly right.
I mean,
because they're into our pee, Michael.
Talk about the economic
they want to
impact.
get it so they know what's in it.
No one's talking about the economic
It's kind of
impact
weird.
on these mom and pop
It's
businesses
really
that do nothing
weird.
but sell, like, these, prosthetic penises and, pee.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Well, it's supposed to be put like that.
Yeah.
It is terrible. And then USPS wants hemp and CBD vape companies to prepare for upcoming mailing restrictions.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Restrictions on
This is another federal agency that clearly didn't get the memo from Joe Biden, just like whoever, fired all those White House staffers that admitted that they had smoked
Well,
marijuana.
okay, then we'll just ship it UPS or FedEx or
right.
one of the others that travels across the country. They just lost out on a lot of business.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just
Their stamps are going up.
that's right. But I mean, it's just gonna, help to, I guess, exacerbate the inevitable when it comes to the post office.
Yeah.
Here's something I thought of.
That was
before
another
you
thing
proceed
Donald
from this
Trump
moment
called.
forward. Instead of introducing everyone, I can say, joining us tonight in the studio,
There you go.
we have the men running the bunker,
Yes.
Jim Powers, Steve Miller, Amanda, Joslin, and John Schlicker and his band of Mary Kay.
Cannapalooza crew.
And that's it. We're ready to go. Let's talk about the topics.
Roll out.
Do something like that.
Trace
Boom.
Bam! That was
Boom.
and Dirty Dan. back
Dirty
there.
Dan.
Bunker Boys, as usual.
Dirty Dan and the Bunker Boys. That'd be a good name for a band.
Well, we got to get that going. Cannapalooza's coming up. We might
Dirty
have
Dan and the
to have
Bunker
a
Boys.
performance.
Now let's get into this urine, if we can.
Yes.
And I asked earlier, anyone listening, please share and like and whatever, YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
But if you want to put some comments, throw some comments. Has anyone seen the Trailer Park Boys episode?
I have.
Oh yeah.
Julian and the urine.
Yeah. The motorhome full of urine.
Oh, it's like the whole season of selling urine as a
Yeah.
commodity, right?
Yeah. Jacob really got the short end of the stick on that one. I'll tell you.
All right, here we go. So, banned drug distribution. This is,
Are we live?
Pee going to become a controlled substance?
Yes.
Yeah, you'll get busted with pee. It's the same thing as
Spot on your underwear?
it's the same thing as like
So-
when,
so
when
what-
the governor
what-
decided to ban the vape flavors
So
and
wh-
everything.
What is
You
this
got these,
banning,
Michael?
Michael?
Kids that are like 23 and they get caught with a vape, a mango
story
vape,
goes
go
that,
to jail for it.
reported
Well,
in
that's it's been like
I'm
that
just
with
kidding.
cannabis. No, that's
I
true.
know. just, I'm,
Fresh out of the
my
Senate-
my
fresh
son.
out of Lansing.
It's a fresh topic.
You know the story? Job applicant or probation is asked to take a drug test and isn't confident they'll pass. What do they do? Use someone else's urine or take a pill or vitamin that helps mask detection. Michigan Senate approved a bill Wednesday criminalizing those drugs masking practice. Senate Bill 134, sponsored by Senator Curtis Vonderwall.
Yeah. With bipartisan support.
Isn't that okay? And bans distribution, delivery, sales, or possession of drug masking product. Now, they better have a definition of what drug masking product means because.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
And
It's not very
who's
good.
the one- Who's the only holdout or boy?
Jeff Irwin.
Jeff Irwin. The use of these products would be a misdemeanor punished by up to the use of them.
Yep. And what?
Use of them. We're back to this other problem that happens sometimes in Michigan jurisprudence.
It's not for the use of them. It's
It says here,
is it for the use? Oh yes, to mask. But
the only dissenting vote came from Jeff Irwin. But I want to. We'll look at what it says. It's like fake pee is not an issue. I've engaged with closely. He told. So here.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like Jeff. He's gonna have the sarcastic. Like I got other shit I gotta deal with other than this fake piss issue.
Drug masking product is either synthetic urine, again, a hot contraband substance, someone else's human urine, a substance designed to be added to an individual's urine, or a substance applied to someone's hair or saliva to defraud alcohol or drugs. Now,
Yep.
if you listen carefully, sounds like water may be on that list. Something that
That's right.
designed to be added to.
That's right, but I want to clarify really quick that this bill has nothing about use. It has shall not distribute, deliver, sell, or possess with intent to distribute, deliver, or sell a drug masking product.
The new war on drugs.
Oh my goodness.
Could be a misdemeanor punishable up to 1 year in prison.
Right.
Fine.
And it started as a 5-year felony.
But there may be a felony for the distribution of it, which is interesting because here's the thing. What if you go on to, what if you're not listening to Planet Green Trees, or you're not aware of the publications, even though Michigan citizens are required to know the law? Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Right.
But you call up, you get on Amazon and order
Some fake pee.
Orders.
some, like, you know, because there's a lot of vitamins that naturally impact the pee.
Right.
Naturally.
Yeah, niacin for one.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
you know, different juices, for example. That
Right.
are not even, you know, one of the things that they, one of the claims in testing. I mean, this is. That was,
I can't even believe
urologist
we have to
breaks
talk
down,
about
but,
this.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, hold on,
ridiculous.
we're talking-
It's such an
yes,
overreach.
exactly.
And the biggest problem
What'd you just say?
the
What if you're a pee drinker? Because that is a thing.
well as long as you're not using it to mask a drug, you're fine, but you have to prove that.
I had a discussion.
Yeah.
I was
That's right, but the real problem with this legislation is that we all know that who does this legislation target? This legislation targets marijuana users. Right, and at the end of the day, someone that's doing cocaine or doing opiates or any of these other drugs that are water soluble have it out of their system in a matter of 2 or 3 days. And when you're talking about marijuana and you're talking about 3 to 6 months in some cases, we know who this is targeting, and that is bullshit.
That's the way we got to stop it. We got to just stop testing for it.
Yep, that's right.
What are we doing?
Pretend that
Cannabis users are some of the best employees I've ever had.
It's got to be for the purpose of defrauding an alcohol or drug screening test. I don't think there's any way to. I mean, so that's what they're talking about here. Person on
Yeah.
So-
deliver, possess, with intent to distribute.
All right,
Deliver or sell.
that's right.
The person who violates this section is guilty of a misdemeanor punished by prison for no more than 1 year.
1 year in the clink for P.
It does. It goes to the.
Yeah.
So you can't possess it with intent to use. You can't possess with intent to use.
You can't distribute it. Yeah.
You can't. So this is going after the.
yeah, that's
Amazon.
like the
Jim, did
vape
you tell
juice.
your people?
No, I didn't.
Amazon makes a lot of
You
money
better
on drug
not have.
testing.
I mean, I don't think that's the like sole source of their income. But on that note, I'm being told by Dirty Dan that we must take a break.
Taking a
Break
break.
time.
We must take a break, and we're going to come back and we're going to discuss, the regulation of your piss a little later as well.
I have a
So
story about it too.
awesome. We're going to listen to Amanda's piss regulation story, and that's going to be fun. So you're listening to Planet Green Trees.
The Planet Green Trees Show.
Join the Michigan Medical Marijuana Association today. MichiganMedicalMarijuana.org. The MMMA is focused on the well-being and safety of medical marijuana patients. The MMMA site provides the most comprehensive and up-to-date news on legal issues, politics, research, cultivation, as well as the various strange products and methods of cannabis use. Come join the discussion with the most knowledgeable and passionate advocates in Michigan today. MichiganMedicalMarijuana.org.
was upper middle class, I had a yard of carpet grass. Worked backhoe 9 to 5 and paid my union dues. But the chef came one day and he took it all away. Left me without anything to lose. They forfeited my car, they found some sugar in a jar. Told me it was probably suspicion of a crime. The other day I saw it being driven by the law, and them boys in back was gonna do some time. Well, forfeiture today, Lord, what a funny way to pay. Keep the peace so all our kids can go outside and play without a cotton picking thing to lose. I got the deep East Texas task force blues. They took my minibar and then they seized my VCR. They could be misused to watch a nasty video. They took away my kitchen all the time. My wife was bitching that it wasn't nothing but oregano. They said my herbal tea might cause a sinful ecstasy. Told me it could only lead to doing something hard. They took my ass to jail. They took my wife, paid my bail. Took my double wide down to the county yard. Forfeiture today, Lord, what a funny way to pay. To keep the peace so all our kids can go outside and play without a cotton picking thing to lose. I got the Oakland County task force blues. Without a cotton picking thing to lose. I got them Oakland County task force blues.
Nice.
I am Earl from G3 Cannabis Therapy Network, and you are watching Planet Green Trees, the original and #1 podcast in Michigan for all things cannabis and legal news.
Dr. Bud Green here. Welcome to our
Now back to more Planet Green Trees.
We're back.
We're halfway into our discussion of urine.
Don't they have anything better to do?
We have allowed them into our bathrooms.
This is ridiculous. There's a pandemic going on, and this is the shit they're coming up with?
They have gone beyond, above and beyond, into our homes and upon our persons and into our bathrooms.
Unreal.
It's really weird. As Jim mentioned, other drugs other than marijuana rarely are detectable unless they're frequently tested. Like a random test, a once-a-week test, probably will not pick up on the other water-soluble instead of fat-soluble THC, which will stay in one's body for up to, depends on how frequent. But and in light of the TUI opinion, which basically says testing positive for medical marijuana, anyways, can result in a punishment. There almost should be less concerns over testing of urine. Right?
Of course.
That's a whole category of people that are no longer, subject to penalty. They should have to worry about rubber penises and
Yeah, and ready clean.
So are they
And
going to carry a kit? I mean, if it's pee, then they're going to test it right there. I mean,
they totally watch.
They have to watch you.
They're creepers.
I'm telling you.
I mean, who wants to sign up for that
It's
job?
so insane.
I
But
will
the-
go and
but the
sit-
other thing
stand
that
there
is-
and watch people pee.
We have to have
The-
someone listening
You know,
that's been compelled.
It's not good enough just to pee. You just it's
The-
disgraceful.
I know from representing people even in allegations of probation violations that where we've actually cross-examined on the issue of what the observer saw that gave evidence to the idea that somebody was in fact masking or using a rubber penis. And what happened there was they're supposed to stand back at the back of the bathroom so they're not too invasive, and they have a sideway mirror that they look in, and then it gives you the visual over to the
it gives you the spread
to
eagle.
the crotch level.
good,
It's called the crotch level view.
The crotch level
You know,
mirror.
it
That's
strategically
good.
places a mirror in the corner so they don't have to stand over you when you're in the urinal. So they can look over here and see.
The
What's
whole
that?
thing is ridiculous. It's all just a money grab.
It's just beyond degrading. It's beyond degrading. It's arguably, as Jeff Frazier would say, even anti-religious.
Yep.
so
And
how about if I harvest my own pee when it's clean and use my own clean? Then it's not synthetic. It's my own pee.
yeah, but it accounts for that and says
For the Supreme.
let's talk about what a drug masking product is. Drug masking product includes synthetic urine, human urine, a substance designed to be added to human urine, or a substance designed to be added to or used on human hair or oral fluid for the purpose of defrauding an alcohol or a drug screening test. So taking your clean urine and storing it, and then using it to defraud a test would be a misdemeanor, punishable by a year in jail.
If you think about it, the person being tests human urine
Yeah.
is potentially a substance that would make out a crime. In other words, if you test positive, if for some reason you are deemed to have taken a substance and brought your urine in, and I'm talking in your bladder,
Yep.
not in a cup or in a rubber penis, but if you bring it in your bladder that's still in your body, and you stand over a cup and you urinate into it, and they deem you to have some substance that's intended to, you're going to be not just guilty of a probation violation,
It's another
but
crime.
guilty of having human urine that's intended to defraud a drug test. It creates an entirely new crime.
Yep.
Now what if?
Now that's the possession. That's not, Jim. That's the possession of it.
Yeah.
That's not even the distribution of it. They get you now with the possession of it.
It's the old PWID. Possession with intent to distribute.
Well, what if?
Hope you don't have more than a one piss worth of piss on you, Michael.
Yeah, that's a good question because distribute may not require for sale.
That it doesn't. It just says possession with intent to distribute or deliver or sell.
Distribute could be construed as peeing in the cup, though, couldn't it? That's distributing it rather than actually selling.
I
it
mean,
to
that's a
another
good,
person.
but it's not to I don't believe it's to defraud or to allow them to defraud the test because you'd be handing them, maybe, I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it
whole
seems
thing
as if the
is so
possession of these things
insane.
are not the crime unless you're buying them, right?
Right.
But it's having the urine and bringing it somewhere and using it to defraud, and if the urine you're bringing is, it's still it seems as if it's really designed for like the.
What if somebody got in the black market business and was transporting around jugs of urine in their car?
Yeah.
That's
Would that then be probable cause for a crime?
That's exactly who
be.
this law is
That's
intended
right.
for.
Your car smells like piss, sir. Get out.
Well, they're not gonna be able to do it with cannabis, so you're gonna be moving a pee.
Yeah, now they're gonna say everyone smelled like
So now
piss.
there's a whole
New probable cause.
It's a little karma.
The dog's alerting that there's pee in your car.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
that'll
right.
be what
Wow.
they train the dogs to do now.
This went downhill quickly. The insane thing about this, though, is the bill passed 33-1, and I think everybody needs to listen to that. Everybody thinks that these politicians on either side of the aisle, for whatever reason, you think they're your friends. Well, your friend is the only friend was Jeff Irwin, who voted against this asinine bill because he clearly understands that they have more important things to do than regulate piss.
It's not even that. Who brought this bill?
A Republican and a Democrat.
I know, but they must have been doing it for somebody. They didn't just think
Of
of this
course.
themselves.
Court judges.
That's what I'm saying. It's some probation lobby
Yes.
or
right.
like some drug
Yeah.
testing lobby.
That's right.
Or somewhere there at the conference that they
It's
went
pro-
away to. This is what they did. They went away to their Vegas conference for all the probation officers across the country.
That would be a
And
boring
they got hookers and did cocaine all weekend and talked about policies of how they could test and screw people over for
Yeah, I know.
so they could
would agree with that 100%.
so they can come back and make up some stuff of what they got to do. Our biggest concerns. You saw the 40-page memo by Jimmy. You know, they put this thing out there. We're getting screwed because of this damn urine trouble we're
this
having.
fake
you know?
piss is taking away our boats, y'all.
Right. Our entire program is challenged by this human urine. We have got to do something about it.
Pee.
Right.
And they
Right,
call
right,
themselves
exactly.
judges,
No,
scholars of the law.
this is like the probation. I don't even know who this is, but this is like there had to be this kind of conversation to pass legislation like this. Like there's got to be like
they must have a
some
strong
citizens that are
lobby.
like, we're getting screwed out here, you representatives. We need you to pass some
gonna be like,
legislation
"All
to
right, who wants to
protect
bring it
us
up?"
in our.
It's got to be somebody more powerful than the probation officers. I'm thinking district court judges all the way behind this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It may simply be the industrial prison complex that owns everybody, right?
Of course
it
it is.
They're putting money into this.
Of course it is.
Company as well, Mike.
And we know Amy Denner is just right along there, just like she always is from the Michigan State Police, saying we got to do something about this.
Probably buildings burning down with piss flowing out of them.
Yes, my God.
She's
just
showing
can
it
you
to this
imagine. Look at these piss
Politicians
buildings
just
and these motorhomes filled
people
with jars
pissing
of
all
piss.
over each other and just shameful
Ridiculous.
pictures
Absolutely
of piss everywhere.
ridiculous.
That's what she brought into the meeting.
And we should all consider who we're voting for that's voting for this nonsense bullshit.
Take a look, people. Enough's enough.
Let's count them out. So there was
33-1.
So it's everybody.
Let's name them. Let's name those shameful people.
Everybody but Jeff Irwin. If you have a senator that doesn't have the name Jeff Irwin, your senator voted for this bill.
That's a shame.
Damn.
It's an absolute.
That is
and
just horrible.
It's a travesty. Get out of our lives. We don't need you to regulate our urine.
Wait a minute,
I assure you.
Who cares what's in it?
That's
33 to
It's
1.
between me and my doctor.
Right.
Jeff Irwin, and I always say it. I mean, there's two politicians that I have respect for in Lansing, and one of them's Jeff Irwin. The other one is no longer in Lansing, is Pete Lucido, and that's because he's the prosecutor in Macomb County now. And
We should ask Pete what he would have done on this piss bill, because I bet you he would definitely at least.
Pete would have been pissed about the piss bill. He really would have, I think. I could see him getting mad about it.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Let's go. You want ready for another topic here to get into?
I'm done with the piss.
All right, fine.
I'm tired of this.
For me.
Politicians.
I'm pissed off.
Let's get to the U.S. Postal Service. What are they talking about, right?
Well, they just made a
Yeah.
piss poor business decision, I think.
Yeah, I think they really messed up.
That was dumb.
As we discussed this, remember the legalization of hemp would suggest that interstate transfers
You
of
would
that
think.
material, assuming that it's in fact what it's purported to be, by a some kind of declaration by the farm from which it came from and being able to verify it, that it would be able to be transported by any means,
You would think.
state to state, even with the U.S. Postal Service. But here you go. The U.S. Postal Service wants to help businesses that mail hemp and CBD vaporizers prepare for forthcoming rule changes that could impact the mailability of their products. In a notice published in the Federal Register on Monday, the agency discussed how congressional legislation passed last year will generally restrict the ability of companies to utilize its services to mail vapes. But depending on the outcome of the rulemaking, there may be exemptions for certain types of devices.
The outcome of the rulemaking.
So we need to know what these new things are, right? So here we go through. The mailers must retain and prepare to make available upon request records establishing compliance with all applicable federal, state, and local laws pertaining to hemp production, processing, distribution, sales, including the Agriculture Act of 2014. So, okay, for products with THC, we know this, and for CBD products no more than 0.3%, the business should state whether the CBD derives from hemp. So these are important things. They're saying, you know, a lot of the issues has been how are they advertising it, how is it being claimed, and there hasn't been any real regulations telling otherwise. People usually learn because they'll get a letter from the FDA. But for products with THC, the quantity and concentration should be noted. And for CBD products containing no more than 0.3% THC, the business should state whether the CBD derives from hemp. For hemp-based products containing CBD with a THC concentration not exceeding 0.3%, mailers must retain and prepare to make available upon request the specific records showing that. All other substances that contain THC are Schedule I controlled substances for the purpose of federal law, and therefore, non-mailable in most instances. It continues. The federal mailing prohibition is unaffected by whether the mailing of THC concentration substances violates state or local law and by the restrictions of the Department of Justice appropriations related to medical marijuana. The last line is in reference to an appropriation amendment that has been annually renewed. Interesting. To prevent the Department of Justice from using its fund to interfere with state legal medical cannabis programs, also known as the Rohrabacher Act, at some point. But its restriction only applies to the Justice Department and do not impact Postal Service operations in any way. Also, in a new notice, USPS stipulated that it is unlawful to mail advertisements for or to advertise the mailing of federally controlled substances or drug paraphernalia. A policy agency has used in the past to justify refusing to mail newspapers that contain advertisements for state legal cannabis businesses. Wow.
Oh my God.
That's like back in the day when they wouldn't mail the High Times and stuff like that, right?
That's ridiculous. I'm glad to know the post office is doing so well that they can turn away business.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Meanwhile, I remember one of our friends and advocates who's later became a whatever he became, you know, in fucking Thetford. Gunnels used to say that
Gunning for Gunnels.
the
Yep.
postal office that was in his jurisdiction there was going out of business.
Yeah, of course.
And for reasons that they would send the green card $5 and they're getting like, 20,000 patients that are mailing it in or whatever it is, annually, like kept that place afloat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But they're not getting that kind of those mailing
The
things
junk
anymore.
mail.
You know what I mean? But they're coming
Right.
with like a certain class of people with the X amount of, whatever it was for the certification.
When you send anything, you send it via one of the commercial carriers these days. I mean, you get bills in the mail. I get bills in the mail, but everything else comes through UPS or FedEx or some other
Amazon.
commercial.
Doesn't it raise a question? I mean, shouldn't people, since we're in Michigan, shouldn't other private companies be able to ship cannabis from the north to the south?
I would think so.
Shouldn't they be able to, other than just...
Even out the market, that's for sure.
Do you think it's because they can't tell the difference? Like if someone is mailing THC or CBD?
If it's state to state,
No,
who cares?
no.
I mean, some of the stuff may, in
That's the
fact, like,
problem.
I got to figure, if they're picking up, you're dropping off some mail at some, border state, the truck may go out into another, another state and come back in, which would be the problem, right? But if it's intrastate,
Inside Michigan.
inside the
it's
state of
fine.
Michigan, and you're mailing it from,
You would have to have
Farmington
a-
Hills to the Upper Peninsula.
You could do that, I believe, if you designed your own shipping, not USPS, because that's federal. So, like, if you did a private shipping company,
You'd think so, but they're not really on the bandwagon with it, and
Oh,
they're
no.
more they're more or less. I'm saying the problem is that they're not doing it in such a way that like, yeah, we're okay with you doing it. So unbeknownst to them, they could be driving in a truck with marijuana that goes out of state and comes back in just for a moment. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's just interstate and that's all that it is, if there is any of those, and of course, what I'm talking about would only be allowed to be done, I guess, if they're licensed in the state. That, I'm not talking about people, although I'm sure it happens.
There was a
it's
case
secure
where
transport.
somebody got pulled
What's that?
if
over,
it's
like,
licensed, then you've already got the secure transport. So that'll transfer you from north to south in Michigan.
Sure, but I'm saying that's part of the industry for the buying of the wholesale and transferring the wholesale and the money exchanges. That's what what I'm talking about from the customer base. If you got an online menu, you call up a place and say, I want some of this, some of this. It can be 3 of those, a cup of soup, a hat, a hamburger.
That's
you know.
allowed, isn't it now?
Well, they can drive it out and deliver it to you, but I'm saying, what if you call it up and they just get in the mail? Don't come to your house.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You get a box delivered. Why can't that happen?
monthly.
But I mean,
Monthly weed
Cannabis club.
see, what's interesting about it is despite
Like Chewy.com.
despite all the advances of cannabis and just in the general workforce and the way they've kind of analyzed tried to make the licensed industry on par with other corporations, other entities that exist and hold them to that level. The reality is that very few businesses operate anymore with bricks and mortar, like a store.
Right.
But in order to get your cannabis, you got to get it from a store. It's got to be a
bricks
store
and
first.
mortar.
They're not giving out licenses to have a online store. You know what I mean? There's no Amazon stores. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there is delivery.
But you got to have a store. It's got to rise out of a store, and that licensed place
You
has
gotta
to
go
be.
there. You
Well,
have
Amazon
to go
originates
to
out of
the
a
store
warehouse, I mean.
first. Like,
Yeah, but that's like saying that's the cultivator, Jim. They don't have a retail place.
I have
It's not really the
patients
cultivator.
that are immobile. Okay,
That's
so
my
they
comparison.
don't have any way transportation or anything like that, and they don't have the ability to get to a dispensary to register.
Well, they will deliver, but
And-
here's the thing: a lot of places
But
won't deliver.
you have
unless-
to go first. The
To
first
register?
time
That's
you
true.
have to register,
You probably have to order a certain amount,
and you have to order a certain amount.
depending on how far
depending-
away you are.
Right. You're gonna
Yeah.
pay a delivery fee per mile probably, and probably a pretty good one.
It's
Or,
like a
or if you order a
radius,
certain
like
amount, I understand though some of the
there's
places.
a
will.
radius.
Yeah. Some of the places will deliver for free within a certain radius if you order a certain amount. A lot of places do that. Like like you can't, like for example, you can't call door to door DoorDash. You know what I mean? Go pick up my.
Yeah, but there's still a premium, right? 'Cause you
DoorDash
gotta
is
tip,
awesome,
you gotta
by
tip
the
the
way.
driver.
They don't have it.
So,
Oh, that.
I mean, unless you're not tipping the driver.
I'm just saying. I
guess.
wonder. I
resident.
wonder how. I mean, just talking pure economics. Every single business that's selling, a good has to consider and compete, with online sales, right? Because that's the way you can compete against. But by virtue of this market and a lot of other things, it all depends on your the brick, the brick and walls of the store. You got to have that. It's
the brick and mortar.
Arguably a setup for failure, one might say, right?
You know what I've seen a couple times. I was up in Traverse City at one point, and then recently I've took a trip on over to Yuma and back, and there were a couple of things that I saw, which was interesting. And it was like next to Starbucks. It was almost like by design. There was a super duper fancy CBD store, but there was like two little things, like two. I didn't go inside. We just drove by, but there wasn't anything in there. But you saw it a couple of times, so it's almost like Starbucks is getting in the game on the down low.
Well, Family Video was in the game, remember?
Oh, yeah, Family
the
Video.
CBD.
They went out.
Yeah.
They went out finally.
I know.
They couldn't
They
hold
were
up.
They were hoping the CBD would save them.
It kept them
Poor
going for
guys.
a long time.
Sucks.
Nobody has a VCR anymore or a DVD player.
I do.
Things
Do ya?
evolve.
I do.
Things evolve.
I have a DVD player.
And
I have all of the above. I'll never get rid of them.
I remember a time my uncle had a whole bookcase of like the VCR tapes, and he would let you borrow them, and they would have like 2 movies on them sometimes, and that was pretty cool because it was almost like a library. And
Are you suggesting they were
bootleg?
like yeah, well,
they were.
there's no copyright infringements going on in
Well,
any kind of
incriminate
way.
right?
But he had quite a
The
collection.
statute of
of
limitations is expired.
Okay, then yes, he taped them all, and it was awesome. He got some good movies. He got some scary movies. He got some, some action movies. That he actually he had everything from A to Z, all lined up alphabetically. That was like his thing.
I have that now. I just say, "Hey Siri."
It's crazy how far we've come. I mean, my kids, and it wasn't that long ago when they were kids. 10 or 12 years ago, we're driving around in a minivan with the VHS player in it.
Yeah.
I was always
My
putting
kids-
tapes
yeah, my
in for
kids
my
had
kids
that.
to watch.
I would do the DVD. Remember the portable DVDs?
Yep, we had those
Okay, you
too.
put it on the back of the seat, and there's
Yeah.
for the kids.
Now they all
now
have
they
phones.
just fold down.
Now they all have
You can
phones and
have
iPads,
2
right,
of 'em
Michael?
If you want.
That made long trips so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Do you want to talk about this new the $1 billion pace of Michigan's on? I can't get to the article because it's M Live or whatever, but
It's a lot of money. So,
It's
FYI.
good.
It's great. And I think, I've been talking a lot about my city, and I'm really proud of what our city has done.
what have they done?
Sounds like
Well,
you
the
get a
city
good
of Centerline, which, if you don't know, is a 1.5 mile square in smack dab in the middle of Warren. And Centerline, a very long time ago, decided to write an ordinance that would allow them to grant an obscene number of marijuana business licenses within the city. And they've done so. And
Good for them.
I'm happy to say that as of last week, the city has gone rec, and one of the local businesses, or 2 of the local businesses now, have gotten their recreational licenses, and it's
God bless
great.
them.
And
Yeah.
our 1.5 mile square city, I can tell you that crime has not increased.
The sky
The
hasn't
amount of-
fallen.
Hasn't fallen.
Right. These businesses have rehabbed vacant buildings within our city,
Yeah.
and now they're paying us tax. And everybody that's, well, not everybody, but, people are coming and spending money in our city to do things like eat and, buy stuff at the local store and those sorts of things. And I think that more cities should consider it. But if you don't want to, that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with all of your residents coming to Centerline to frequent our stores instead.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. Good for them. Go Centerline.
Jim, do you recall what the announcement was of how much revenue was doled out? I could probably find the form if you want me to.
How much revenue was received? You mean? It's pretty insane. It's almost $100 million a month. And this last month of
No. I'm saying from Centerline specifically, because there was some statistics about.
I'm not sure. We can look it up though.
I think Michael's talking about the kickback that the cities all got that opted in.
Marijuana.
How much do they get out of it?
Their bonus.
It was almost $30,000 per business, Steve.
What's that?
I believe it was close to $30,000 per business.
Where is it going? Where is it going, Jim?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to find it.
I read a few articles about Illinois starting to distribute some of their funds and stuff too for
Illinois is kicking everybody's ass
Yeah,
on
it
stuff
seems
right
like
now,
it.
doesn't it?
Yeah, strange.
They seem to use their executive authority in ways that didn't offend people. You know what I mean? Like they were like get rid of crimes by executive order and things like that. No one cares. They're not. No one's crying about that because. But here we are because we got to go through this other process to get the expungements. It was not as easily accomplished.
Exactly. It
still,
should have been though.
True.
It should have been.
It should have been automatic.
Yes.
Yes.
Can't Dana help us?
I'm trying to stir it up, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, we're going to be silent.
It's quiet
We
as
might
I've heard
need
it
a
in
break
here
after
yet.
that because
we gotta go to
need
break.
to smoke and
We gotta go to break and then
regroup
then
and then
Michael's going to answer John's question.
we got some questions from.
You're listening to Planet Green Trees.
See?
The Planet Green Trees Show.
Join the Michigan Medical Marijuana Association today, michiganmedicalmarijuana.org. The MMMA is focused on the well-being and safety of medical marijuana patients. The MMMA site provides the most comprehensive and up-to-date news on legal issues, politics, research, cultivation, as well as the various strange products and methods of cannabis use. Come join the discussion with the most knowledgeable and passionate advocates in Michigan today. michiganmedicalmarijuana.org.
Dr. Bud Green here. Welcome to our
am Earl from G3 Cannabis Therapy Network, and you are watching Planet Green Trees, the original and #1 podcast in Michigan for all things cannabis and legal news.
An important and historical farm crop in American agriculture has returned after having been classified as a controlled substance and illegal. On December 20th, 2018, the President signed the Farm Bill, also known as the Agriculture Improvement Act of 2018, into law. The signing of the act was great news for the hemp industry, which amended the definition of marijuana in the Federal Controlled Substances Act. Hemp is now defined as the plant, Cannabis sativa L, and any part of the plant, growing or not, with less than 0.3% THC concentration on a dry basis. The plant itself is no longer a controlled substance. Hemp is one of the most versatile plants on earth. From clothing, fiber, paper, building materials, hempcrete, biofuels, CBD, and medical uses, it has been a part of America's industry for over 200 years. Even the United States Constitution was drafted on hemp paper. The time is now. If you're thinking of getting in the farming or processing of hemp, contact our global experts, legal, and consultation teams to make sure that you're on the right road when you venture into the new hemp industrial revolution. Michigan Hemp Industries has been a leader and advocate for the return of the hemp industry, so come be a part of the new revolution in agriculture in Michigan.
Bill Schuette led the charge against medical marijuana, and even after the will of the voters was decided and the support was enormous, he still continued to fight against the will of the voters, keeping patients from the medicine that they need. So I think it's important that we all speak up on what we think about this initiative. But when the voters have their say, their will must stand.
And now back to more Planet Green Trees.
Well, what do you know? We're back.
We're back.
Figured it out. Guess what? Centerline got no money last month.
That's because
Whoa.
we've only been wrecked for like a week. We got to wait. But we're getting money, I assure you, because those places are packed.
Okay.
And people are spending money in our city.
All
And-
right.
And like I said, if other localities don't want to pass it, that's fine.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
They just don't get.
It's us in Hazel Park.
Just no benefits for them.
No.
All right, so what else is on our agenda? Let's talk about how much money Michigan's making in all this. Jim, billions, $1 bazillion.
Well, $1 billion is what there was in revenue in sales.
Okay.
So.
Is that what was, or because you're talking about 100
Or
million?
that there will
You're talking
be.
about 100 million
no,
a
that
month,
there-
right?
It's almost 100 million a month, right?
Okay. How do you account for that? Do you think that it's just that? So at some point there was $100 million that was in the pockets of people across the state of Michigan.
Yep.
And then every month, that money, which seems like a lot, began to start getting paid towards into these systems.
Yep.
So, what happened? How did that?
It's the black market converting.
Okay. But it's been consistent stuff. How do you account for all that?
What do you mean consistent stuff?
Well, it's $100 million every month forever.
No, that's not true. It's been going up significantly. I think it's 44% up year over year, I think is what the number was.
All right.
So it's a significant increase. And the fact is that the rec system is starting to spin up. And this is just the beginning. And at the end of the day, I mean, there's always going to be well, I shouldn't say always, because maybe that's not right, but certainly for the very foreseeable future, there will still be a black market. But when you have stores all over the place, it's super accessible, and people are starting to utilize them.
Yeah. Does price come down? Is it fair? Is it good products, good flour? Who's got an opinion about this? John, what do you say when you were up in your checking out the ones in your zone there? What do you think? How's the quality?
I think they got pretty good quality. I personally really like the Botanical Company in East Tawas. Shout out to them.
Jimmy Lowell, shout out, not here, but
Yeah.
shout
And
out.
we've got High Level Health, also in East Tawas. In Oscoda, we have Northern Roots.
Okay, all right.
And then now we have in Harrisville, my hometown county of Alcona, in the city of Harrisville, Consume Cannabis.
All right. Have you tried them all?
And I have been at all of them. Yes, I have.
What's your take? You prefer?
So what'd you like about them?
Yeah, what do you like about it?
Well, I'm a flower guy, actually.
Okay.
So, and again, I'd have to say that I felt the Botanical, who now they've been there for a couple of years now and getting established, but they've probably got the best product.
Okay.
Consume did have some good product there and some nice prices for their grand opening this past week. I really enjoyed that. So.
I think wasn't Darren McCarty at one of their
At the
more
Botanical.
recent- Yeah, at Botanical Company.
Yes, he was last year, I believe it was. Tracy and I were there, and Darren showed up.
Yep. And then Dan and I went up there to East Tawas, and we visited. I really liked it. It was nice spot. I think they've got one out in Lansing now too.
They
I'm
do.
not sure
They do in
I haven't
Lansing,
been
and
to
I
that
think
one
they've
yet.
got one in Kalkaska.
Yeah, I can't wait for the
Yeah.
lounge.
Shout out to the Botanical Company.
That's good. So, what was your experience like? What are they selling cannabis for flower? Do you recall?
How much it was?
Yeah.
Consume this past week had some flour actually for their grand opening, $79 an ounce.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. On the
Was it good or was it
on the
shake?
medical side, rec was 99. I didn't buy any of it. I did look at it, and I chose to buy some stuff. I bought some Super Lemon Haze, and I bought a little bit of, I call it J1. I don't remember what he said it was crossed with. It was Jack Hare. And
Skunk #1.
yeah.
Sounds
So
about right.
that was
I'm
pretty good
guessing,
flour.
totally
it was pretty
guessing.
good flour. But I think that they sprayed some hardener on it, you know, and maybe some
I
terps.
freaking hate that.
Oh, I hate that
PGTs.
too. I hate that too.
What's
Yeah.
hardener?
The bud they put on this nutrient. They use a nutrient on the flour that hardens it. So of course it makes it more dense, which weighs more. And it's a nutrient you're not really supposed to use. It's frowned upon. I don't know anything about like.
I
what
don't
they're
know the
testing
science
for or
behind it
whatever.
all. My partner Joe would probably be able. I know he would be able to explain it better. And of course,
PGRs. Yeah.
but yeah, I wanna shout out a couple things quick to Northeast Michigan Normal and the chapter I founded some years back. We're gonna have a comedy night show on June 12th.
June 12th.
At Ken Ratcliffe Park in Oscoda from 7 till 10. And we've got like 8 comics going to do a show.
Oh, fun.
some stand-up for about 3 hours worth. And the chapter's going to try to raise some money for the local vets up there.
Nice. Nice.
But also, Cannapalooza Worldwide is happening
Whoop, whoop.
August 20th through the 22nd.
Get ready.
And we are 5 minutes off I-75 of exit 190. Go west on M61 and just follow the Johnny Legalized signs. And that flying hippie, you'll find us.
Yep, and you're not going to want to leave. I remember, I have very fond memories, Cannapalooza.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
It was a very good time. And I hear the funny guy is going to be around again.
My hemp T-shirt, too.
We
Just
got
saw it
some
the other
really
day.
cool T-shirts coming this year. So, and soon our website will be up and running, and we're going to have merchandise to be sold on there. So we'll have T-shirts.
Oh, awesome.
We've got rolling trays now and little handbags to conceal your marijuana bag. And
Yep, little stash kit.
so we're building a little bit of an inventory and gonna put them out there online.
Tickets are going to be on sale soon. You can order them.
Tickets will be available to be purchased soon online, yes, on our webpage, CannapaloozaWorldwide.com.
All right, perfect. And we'll be continuing to update and let people know when things are happening there. John, you're, of course, invited to remind us to share that and pass along to anyone that's listening.
Thank you, Michael, for having me.
My pleasure. I think a lot of people are excited to, at least excited with the idea of getting out of the lockdown and back to somewhat normal.
Yeah.
I do too. I believe it's really going to be a good turnout for that reason. Everybody's excited. A lot of people are getting vaccinated, and if you haven't been, I did. I got the shot. I encourage people to do so, but I understand they're right and they're entitled to that too. But I'm confident that by midsummer, we're going to be at a point in the country that we're going to be able to start gathering in larger groups, and people are ready. People are definitely ready.
Definitely.
I've got a lot of people calling me wanting to know if they can be vendors at our event, if we taking it, who we're taking. I got entertainers reaching out to us, so things are happening. We've came a long ways in a few years, and I'm quite proud of that. So, shout out to my assistant Nikki Abbey. She's awesome.
Yep.
So.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think people are ready to get back to some normalcy.
Yeah, they are.
Crave, other people. You can't just sit, just eat purely electronic. Michael, how do you like the old, do you have to Zoom to do court still? Or
Zoom-a-loom.
do you have
different courts have been declared themselves
COVID-free.
Well, they have a ranking system. Everyone started at 0. You had to get up to level 3 before you could start having trials.
A level
and it involves having certain protocols in place, and a lot of it's driven by the community. How many people are. But I can tell you there are some jurisdictions that are completely shut down. Like Washtenaw County had a really bad, reverb of weird strains of it, and they are not having much live court. I know that Detroit, Frank Murphy, and Wayne County's lovely criminal justice system has not really been open much. I think some of the some of the district courts will let you come in, and you're like the only case of the day. Some people are doing. Yeah, some people are doing. I mean, not the only case, the only case live. That's in person, stuff like that. We got a note in a federal case we have that they're not doing any trials anytime soon.
Huh.
And that's
it's almost everything's on hold.
That sounds like it's not legal.
No, I had a trial, as I talked about on the show, in Roscommon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And, people had to show up for jury duty and whatnot, and it was, seemed somewhat fine. I don't know what, there wasn't any, I don't have any immediate negatives to report from that. The process allowed us an opportunity to have court. You know what I mean? I think, certain precautions taken, everyone was. So I don't know what to make of that, but I do say that most of the courts are in Zoom, and it's sometimes helpful and sometimes really not helpful at all. I think it's nice that what it means is like sometimes you should be able to call in not have to be there because it's, if you can do it for Zoom.
Yep.
Because we have to, it means you should be able to do it because it's the most convenient way to do it. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't have to, berate people and bring them out of their comfort level just because they got a court date. You know what I mean? But that's kind of how the program works. And this made you look. This I think unequivocally makes us look at it. How important is it that unnecessary court dates take place all the time just to have a court date? Just to. But anyways,
keep people employed.
Well, keep people employed, but it's an inconvenience for the charged or even the people that the accused or whatnot. It's a lot to.
Yeah, they got to be responsible to show up at a friend's or someplace. What about people that don't have computer access? I live way up north, and a lot of people up there don't have access to the internet.
Yep.
Well, that's
and they're supposed to Zoom into court.
Well, I'm talking about just.
I've been on a Zoom court in my living room, and to help a young man that needed to be on court.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because there's a pain in suffering.
What do you do?
How to even use it.
Right.
If he didn't know me, what would he have done?
He would have failed to appear or whatever.
Right.
Because he didn't.
That's crazy.
Well, I would say to me there is a certain element of pain and suffering that goes on with being forced to go to court. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not normal for most people to go to court. It's nerve-wracking. You got to take time out of your schedule when you go. Nobody cares how long you're there for. You know what I mean? You can sit there all day.
Yeah.
And so there's, so I'm.
Right. In that aspect, sitting in your living room for court's not too bad.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And if I'm in my office, I don't have to drive here, drive there.
Work done
That's a good point.
Right. Exactly. And there's a lot of unless being a lawyer for X amount of years, I bring stuff with me because I'm going to be sitting there. You know what I mean? I'm going to trying to sit around having to watch, the injustice go on, or worse yet, listen to other lawyers talk while I'm sitting there. That's the worst. Just kidding. That's a joke. There's nothing worse than a lawyer sitting around trying to explain to the judge and everyone else that their case is important. They should know that my case is the most important one. I got to get up and talk. No, I'm kidding.
Course.
But all the lawyers are thinking
jockeying for time.
But it's a broken system. The Zoom is exposed that a little bit, I think. I don't know.
That might be for the better.
Some things have changed, getting back to like some type of recovery from all of this stuff is happening. Some things have changed for the better. Some things are, some things could be improved.
It's interesting because in criminal cases, Jim, paying attention? In criminal cases, a defendant has an absolute right to confront their accuser in person.
Right.
So you could actually get out of being forced to participate via Zoom. You know what I mean? They could actually, and I've done that because I'm like,
and for a trial, that might be wise.
Well, I'm even saying for preliminary exam or an evidentiary hearing. There's a lot of potential looseness that can go on nefariously, depending on where everybody is.
Barriers. A bunch of barriers.
Barriers, but also it's tough to sequester witnesses. You don't know where they are. They could be at home, giving notes to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That reminds me of maybe totally off topic, but kind of there was a case where there was a woman that had to Zoom into court, and it was a domestic violence case. Okay. Did you see that? I don't know if it's true. You don't always know if it's true.
It is.
But she was there. She was Zooming. She was like getting, it was court date. And then he was in the other room.
Yep. On the Zoom.
Yeah. And it was like a whole Zoom call.
Dumbass.
And the judge and everybody. And so the lawyer, I think it was
the prosecutor.
Okay. So, somebody picked up on her body language and whatnot. And then sent the police to the house. And then they busted down.
And that was after the judge confronted him about it and said, "Are you in the same house?" And he said, and they said, "No,
right.
no, we're definitely not."
Did she say no?
Yeah, because he was gonna beat her up.
Huh?
Oh.
It was a domestic violence case. So who knows what he would have done if she said the wrong thing.
Well, sometimes that is alarming and
right. Right, that's scary.
So it's
That's
a consideration to make
That's
when
scary
we revamp the system or
There's no revamping.
decide how to try to revamp the system.
That's the point you're making is a point that needs to be emphasized. What revamping the system? I mean, do you remember at the beginning of the pandemic, like there's 90,000 things that were obvious that we've made some. Jim, where are you going?
I'll be right back.
Come on. How dare you try to
Right
leave?
back.
90,000 things that were supposed to be fixed. You know, remember like there's all this. What's that?
I said we can't ever keep track of him.
Him? He's
yeah,
going right.
he's just going rogue right now.
But remember, like they couldn't get medicine in from other countries because they shut off the transporting from other countries, importing things. So people in the United States that needed just their general medicine, nothing to do with COVID, couldn't get it. Remember?
Like
Were
insulin
dying, right.
or whatnot.
All of that. And it means, it tells you that the companies that are selling drugs in the United States at a much higher price than anywhere else are producing in other countries, not here, not jobs to people in the United States, probably getting some tax breaks elsewhere, and selling it for the highest dollar to the customers here in the United States, the patients, and then they get cut off. There's something inherently wrong with that, and you would think that there would be someone yelling, we got to fix that. It shouldn't ever happen again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Forget the fact that there's all this, they failed to stockpile, things available for a health,
health
crisis of some kind. Is terrible. I mean,
people don't have access still to medicine that they need at a reasonable cost for sure. I mean, there is definitely something broken, and
yeah, and a lot of call for action.
Yeah.
A lot of call for action.
So that's just a couple things. I mean, I from the institution of injustice or the court system, you could say and to me it's remarkable because there's a way that they do it, and whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's evolved to here. This is what it is. This is how it's too big. You can't stop it. I'm talking about all of the things like you got to be here. You got to be here on time. We're going to contempt of court. Making sure you get your notice and sign off on it to be here. Report to the probation department. If you don't hear from them, you got to call them. This is the number. All these like little just to stay in touch and getting you on the system.
Hamster wheel.
All that stuff. All of a sudden they're like, well, forget about all that for now, and we'll call you when the courts open up, and we'll get you back to probation. Like it tells you that those things are not essential. Right. The discussion at the time was like it's not an essential business, or our economy runs on all these non-essential businesses, right? How because they were able to shut down businesses that weren't deemed essential. Marijuana was an essential business, but just so we have an economy based on non-essential businesses that were so unessential that we were just like, okay, we're just gonna shut you down. Not that essential. We don't need it, or
sorry,
some
guys.
shit that's out there. So you suffer. That's number one. And the other one was all these court cases and the way they regulate people's lives and tell them where to go, where they got to be, what hoops to jump through, who to pay the money to, how often they got to see him, who they got to call. Like, just forget it. Come back in a little while. Which means all that was a charade, because they were doing it not because it was needed, not because there was a need for it, because that's the way they do it. And we're going to do it, and we're going to send you there because this is how we do it. And now that we have a pandemic and we don't need to do it, and I can't do it, it shows that there's no need for it. Otherwise, we would have had statistics of all these probationers killing people, eating their dogs, skyfalling, whatever. I don't know.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, so many of these are victimless crimes, especially when we're talking about drug crimes. I mean, what did we expect? Of course, nothing happened. Half of these cases are bullshit.
No, but I'm saying that the excessive use of the system, Jim, that existed, the institution of justice that existed at the time of the COVID, and the response from the courts was just come back later, we'll call you when we need you.
Yeah, we'll deal with it.
Tells you that all of that was not essential.
Puts everything on pause.
That's right.
Only allows the essential businesses to operate, which then tells everybody else that we don't need you anymore. So all of that other stuff was just, who knows what. And they're just deciding what's essential just based on weird stuff.
All right, so do you think we should take a break real quick and then come back? All right, let's do that.
Yes, you're listening to Planet Green Trees.
I will be right back.
The Planet Green Trees Show.
Join the Michigan Medical Marijuana Association today, michiganmedicalmarijuana.org. The MMMA is focused on the well-being and safety of medical marijuana patients. The MMMA site provides the most comprehensive and up-to-date news on legal issues, politics, research, cultivation, as well as the various strange products and methods of cannabis use. Come join the discussion with the most knowledgeable and passionate advocates in Michigan today. michiganmedicalmarijuana.org.
Dr. Bud Green here. Welcome to our
This is Amanda Joslin with Elevation Station, and you're watching Planet Green Trees TV.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. And thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
The Planet Green Trees Show.
Join the Michigan Medical Marijuana Association today. MichiganMedicalMarijuana.org. The MMMA is focused on the well-being and safety of medical marijuana patients. The MMMA site provides the most comprehensive and up-to-date news on legal issues, politics, research, cultivation, as well as the various strange products and methods of cannabis use. Come join the discussion with the most knowledgeable and passionate advocates in Michigan today. MichiganMedicalMarijuana.org.
I was upper middle class, I had a yard of carpet grass. Worked backhoe 9 to 5, paid my union dues. But the chef came one day and he took it all away. Left me without anything to lose. They forfeited my car, they found some sugar in a jar. Told me it was probably suspicion of a crime. The other day I saw it being driven by the law, and them boys in back was gonna do some time. Well, forfeiture today, Lord, what a funny way to pay. Keep the peace so all our kids can go outside and play, without a cotton picking thing to lose. I got the deep East Texas task force blues. Took my minibar and then they seized my VCR. They could be misused to watch a nasty video. They took away my kitchen all the time. My wife was bitching that it wasn't nothing but oregano. They said my herbal tea might cause a sinful ecstasy. Told me it could only lead to doing something hard. Took my ass to jail, they took my wife, paid my bail, took my double wide down to the county yard. Forfeiture today, Lord, what a funny way to pay. Keep the peace so all our kids can go outside and play, without a cotton picking thing to lose. I got the Oakland County task force blues. Without a cotton picking thing loose, I got them Oakland County task force blues.
Yeah! Nice.
I am Earl from G3 Cannabis Therapy Network, and you are watching Planet Green Trees, the original and #1 podcast in Michigan for all things cannabis and legal news.
Dr. Bud Green here. Welcome to our
And now back to more Planet Green Trees. Here's Michael Komorn with more Planet Green Trees.
Well, I mean, how's your CPU and memory?
Because we're like usually
So, how many cameras do you have?
Like 6.
I tried to get Brunoy.
No, he's in a graffiti house right now?
The Planet Green Trees Show.
Join the Michigan Medical Marijuana Association today, michiganmedicalmarijuana.org. The MMMA is focused on the well-being and safety of medical marijuana patients. The MMMA site provides the most comprehensive and up-to-date news on legal issues, politics, research, cultivation, as well as the various strange products and methods of cannabis use. Come join the discussion with the most knowledgeable and passionate advocates in Michigan today. michiganmedicalmarijuana.org.
Dr. Bud Green here. Welcome to our
This is Amanda Joslin with Elevation Station, and you're watching Planet Green Trees TV.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. And thing sucks.